I used my personal credit as a guarantee because it was a brand new business. A brand new business had no revenue. I didn't have no employees, right? I had no contracts. I had nothing, but yet they still gave me access to capital, and that's because I personally guaranteed it. Now, we're going to be talking about business credit, but in my mind, everybody on this call understands that their personal credit has to be optimized, right? And I'm not here to preach to you. I promise you, everything that I tell you, I have a solution for. I remember I used to watch Perry Mason when I was young, and they said one time, I know I'm telling my age. I know y'all watch Suits these days, right? But I used to watch Perry Mason, and one thing that they said was that a good lawyer never asks a question that they don't know the answer to. So same thing as a coach, right? I'm not going to tell you a problem without giving you a solution to it. So I am going to delineate all the problems that we have, but every problem that we have, I have a solution for, okay? Because I've been down the road, I've helped other people this road, and now I'm going to help you all. So before I get started, if there are any questions or comments or something that you want covered besides business credit, before I get started, because I can always incorporate, because I do this off the top of my head. I don't need
Yeah,
notes.
this is RJ. Real quick. So with that being said, having your personal credit and a personal guarantor, there are people that have the good business credit, or at least they got it there, but they took a dump on their personal credit. So I was told, and again, I want to.
You're on mute.
Mute? No, I'm losing.
I can hear you now.
I'm in a bad area. I'm in a bad area.
Right.
Real quick, can I grab somebody like a son or a son-in-law who has the personal credit, add them to the LLC to satisfy that personal guarantor to keep pushing until the business till I get my we're being transferred till I get my personal credit where it needs to be and still rock and roll.
Okay, good. So the short answer this to you, RJ, and everybody is without a doubt, yes. Let me tell you how that works, right? So me and my wife, we own multiple businesses. I own 4 CDL schools, trucking company, staffing company, real estate development company, all from personal credit and business credit. So some years ago, I went to get $1,200,000 worth of equipment, dump trucks, 200,000 a piece. And so after I got the dump trucks, my credit was jammed up because I had a bunch of inquiries, I had a bunch of hits, I had a bunch of stuff. So what we would do is, if my credit needs to be worked on, we will now put me as a minority owner in the corporation, put my wife as a majority owner, just take one form. And now we can go back in and get more trucks, get more funding and everything else, because the majority owner, that's who they pull the credit. So a lot of times, if you have less than 20% operational control of a corporation, they don't pull your credit. I prefer under 15%, but that's up to you. It's just an understanding with me and my wife that once my credit gets good, I jump back in, and then we fix hers, and then we keep moving. The more people y'all have like that inside your corporation, absolutely yes. Those are called credit partners. Those credit partners could be a partner in the organization, or you can buy your credit partner and put that credit partner as a CFO, and then you can keep going, right? As long as there's an understanding between you and that individual, either with equity or cash or whatever it might y'all come up with, y'all get it together. So undoubtedly, yes, RJ, you can. In fact, I tell this story all the time. How I first knew anybody can do this was because I helped a friend of mine. I've been friends with him over 40 years, right? He had got married, and he'd been married like 25 years. And two years prior to me seeing him then, they had came to me, him and his wife, they wanted to open up a corporation to get money or whatever the case might be. So they opened up the corporation, and the money wasn't coming fast enough, so they didn't do anything else. A couple of years later, they seen me on television. They seen me getting awards from the governor, from the SBA and everything else. They invited me over to Thanksgiving dinner, and they said they were serious this time. The husband did. The wife was cooking. And so, make a long story short, we had took that corporation that he had because it had age on it, more than 2 years. We fixed the husband and the wife's credit, right? We applied for a low doc funding, and that family, who was on Section 8 and welfare at the time, right? They received $148,000 worth of funding. They bought them a hot shot in an 18-wheeler. She bought her a Janny King franchise and a place to cook her meals out of. And they never looked back. They got a 5-bedroom house. They're middle class America. And it was all because we changed their personal credit. And then we upgraded their business to look like a business, and we took them to the bank. That's changed their whole life. They just didn't have no knowledge that could be done. I didn't have the knowledge either. With all those degrees, I was very skeptical that that could get done. And I've been doing it over and over and over again. So to answer your question, I took the long way home, but undoubtedly, if you have somebody with an optimized credit profile, please, you all don't leave here thinking that Uncle Herman said that I put somebody with credit in my corporation, he's going to get me money. It has to be optimized for funding. And when I say optimized for funding, team, what I mean is that that individual needs to have credit cards on it with 5,000 or higher limit, right? At that time, I had a $12,000 limit, and those credit cards cannot have high utilization. What that means is that you can't be living off your credit card. So our underwriter's looking at, if you're living off your credit card, you're going to live off the money that I'm going to give you. So those credit cards need to have low utilization, under 30%. Under 10% is perfect, but we don't live in a perfect world. That person that you're bringing to use as a credit partner, right? They need to have a history for credit history for at least 3 years, and much longer be better, but a minimum of 3 years. They cannot have no derogatory remarks on their credit profile, none. No late payments, no charge-offs, because that's going to make the underwriter nervous. They need to only have a few inquiries, less than 5 inquiries. Chase don't play that. Chase says if you have 5 or more inquiries in 2 years, they don't care how good your credit is, they're not giving you a dime. So you can't have too many inquiries per bureau. Somebody's unmuted. So that's where we are, you all. I can get y'all to the goal line, right? Using a football analogy, but y'all need to know what the plays are, and you need to know what your uniform is. Your uniform, in order for me to get you there, is an optimized personal credit profile. You need to have a built-out business, right? And then we could take you for funding. The more attributes that your profile has, or your business credit, the more money I can get you. All right. So to answer your question, RJ, the long way is absolutely, without a doubt, if that person has an optimized personal credit profile. Any other questions?
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to let the rest of the people, you guys, I want everybody to know, we are kind of like intentional. So do not hesitate. I'm going to mute my mic because I'm driving, but I want to ask this one last question. And this is an opportunity for you guys to ask. When you are, and there are people that have opened up the LLC, and they've gotten that $50,000 microloan by SBA. I had a person just tell me, really didn't do anything. For me, when we optimize that personal guarantor person, when you say they've got to have a little age credit, so I'll give you an example. This person has been with a teacher's credit union, got his car finance, and usually that's been paid as agreed, and that's in good standing. Utilization is below 30%. And I always believe, and I tell folks, unless I see differently, you got to crawl before you walk. So what is the timeline? Let's say we got an LLC. The person's got is a personal guarantor. Actually, I got him a couple of credit cards under your program. Thank you very much. And now we're cooking. That's why I said I want to get this meeting, and for people in here to actually understand this is real. What is the timeline that you can go from maybe a $50,000 or SBA loan, which should be easy, to 200,000 or 300,000 when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing?
Okay, beautiful. So let me say this. It didn't take me but 2 weeks to get $180,000, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if y'all ever heard that song, that I was an overnight success 10 years in the making. Have you ever heard that song? I'm an overnight success 10 years in the making. Anybody heard that song? Just say yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm not country.
Oh yeah,
right?
we heard.
I like the song, because what happens is I got the money in 2 weeks, but what y'all didn't see is that I went and I got a commercial building. I got a website. I wrote a business plan, right? I got an occupation license. I was in good standing with the Secretary of State. My phones was listed in 411. All of those things. All a lot of people seen is that I got $180,000. So I was an overnight success, but they didn't see that you have to lay a foundation. And so it can happen as soon as you lay the foundation, Mr. Cooper. As soon as the foundation is laid, the person with an optimized credit profile, you look like a business, we added the trade lines, we can go get you the money tomorrow. But the process is in playing the honky-tonk bars for 10 years, or getting your personal credit optimized and your business credit optimized. After that, the bank wants you. People don't understand this, and I found this out this way here. I'm going to be totally transparent with you all, right? When I told you I help my friends help their friends. Okay, so let me give you the story, right? So I helped one of my friends get 200,000. We optimized his credit. He had a business already, right? Because that was very paramount. When you're getting a lot of money, they're going to want to see financials. So what he did was that, just like I told you, he removed himself as the primary owner. He put his uncle in there as the primary uncle. His uncle was, the use of a better word, was an alcoholic, a bum, really. So he cleaned his uncle up, cleaned up his credit, made his uncle the primary person on his corporation, and that bank gave that company another $250,000. You got me? So all he did was just did what I did for him. He did for his uncle, replaced himself with his uncle with his good credit. Now, let me tell you this. This is the part that opened my eyes more than anything else. They, before they went to funding, they was going to funding on a Thursday. Tuesday, something popped up on the uncle's credit. He had bounced a check 2 years before at a casino. It was just $100. The bank asked them to listen. What are y'all going to do about this? We are thinking that the loan is dead, right? Because there's a negative thing. The bank said, no, pay it off, write a letter, and let's go to closing. That's when I knew if the bank was willing to give a bum $250,000 with pretty much a credit profile, right? They had to do it. Somebody's on mute. This is going to drive me nuts.
Babe,
all right.
Mute yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so let me finish. So at any rate, that's when I first knew that the banks have to make loans to make money. They could have easily denied. This was $250,000. A derogatory, a check being bounced popped up on the profile before closing. They didn't care. Why? Because they sell those packages. In the past, the bank used to hold on to the loans onto their books, whether it was a car loan, whether it was a business loan, no matter what type of home loan, the bank would hold on to it as books. So they had to be very careful what type of loans that they make. Now, times have changed. The bank now will sell that loan as quick as you can flash your eyes. They sell them, they package them and sell them, so they don't keep them. So they don't have to be as careful as they were when they was keeping them at home for themselves. You got me? So they sold that loan. That's all they was doing. They sold that loan to Wall Street, pension funds, insurance companies, and they didn't want nothing to be in the way. So as long as they wrote a letter, paid off that stuff, wrote a letter, showed that it was paid, they went to closing on that $250,000. All right. So that's what I'm telling you all. If y'all fit the profile, whether you're a bum or not, if you fit the profile, they're gonna fund you. Okay, it has nothing to do with anything else. That profile is optimized credit profile, that business profile. They're gonna fund you faster than you can look. Now, there's different ways to get funded, right? And so you can use your personal credit and you can get funding right away. I've helped people to get hundreds of thousands of dollars just on their personal because they couldn't wait to build out their business. My preference is you get it on your business side because it doesn't show up on your personal, right? And then when you get the funding, you can do like I did. When I first got my funding, I got all business credit cards, right? I got total 130,000 worth of business credit cards, 50,000 worth of lease loans, to a total of 180,000. Of those 130,000 worth of business credit cards, I only accepted 110, and I pulled the money off of that 110, put it into my trading account, put it into my brokerage account until I can open up the business, till I can get employees, till I can get contracts. So the money was sitting into my brokerage account, and I was making a couple of trades to pay the note. But that's what I did the first time out nearly 15 years ago. And that's when I fell in love with business credit. That's when I fell in love, when I seen that all you had to do was leverage your personal credit into the business world. And even if you're a brand new business, they'll get you funding. What I later found out, that if you're an established business, right, with an optimized credit profile and an optimized business credit profile, the sky's the limit. That's how I was able to get up to a $5 million loan for a real estate development. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I just want to make sure before I get started that if there's any questions, comments, or concerns besides RJ, right? If there's any questions or comments or concerns, y'all go ahead and share them now before I get started with this.
This is Anisha. I have a quick question.
I love questions, Ms. Anisha. Go for it.
Do you always have to have a personal guarantor when it comes to getting a business loan, or they're just starting off?
Okay, beautiful. So I need to say this. right? And because that's a beautiful question. I've gotten business funding and credit with a corporation, but that corporation had to be aged and it had to be built out properly. It's called age credit ready shelf corporation. In the beginning, I started with doing my personal credit, like using that as the thing. So people that don't want to use their personal credit, this is the issue. Because there was so much fraud going on, like they used to didn't have to use your personal credit in the 80s, in the early 90s, you didn't have to use your personal credit. And then it started being fraud and fraud and fraud. So then they wanted you to use your personal credit for a loan. But the other part still exists, but they got requirements now. So a lot of requirements is twofold. I'm going to give you the hardest requirement first. So in order for you not to use your personal guarantee, you need to show them a revenue of 3 million or more, with 5 million being on average. With 3 million to 5 million or more worth of revenue for the last couple of years, you don't have to personal guarantee anymore. That's that way, right? And a lot of people don't have that type of revenue to not have to personal guarantee. Second way that I'm doing now, which I'm doing for my wife, is that you acquire an age shelf corporation that has all the vendor accounts in it, 15 or greater. Mine have 27 in
You
it,
live
right?
around here or?
I live in Seabrook, but the bridge is down to one lane.
Oh, wow.
Miss Fatima, see what that is and mute them for me, please.
Mhm.
All right, so the bottom line is that I'm
Yeah,
using
go right out.
Oh, okay. That's
let me text her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is she the only one that has the ability to mute? Because I was trying to, I think I knew who that was. Are you okay, Amber?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, yeah, she does. I think she's an admin, but I don't know. Anyway, so let me tell you this. The short answer is that you can get money and products without using a personal guarantee, but it's not going to be that much because of the past history of people abusing the program. Does that make sense to you, ma'am?
Yes, it does.
Okay. There is a thing, but if you're going to go that route, it's called EIN only, but that EIN needs to be fully credited. It needs to have credit in it already. It needs to have a lot of stuff in there already, like vendor accounts, age account, everything in it. So when somebody look at it, they can approve you for EIN only funding, which is not going to be into the hundreds of thousands, but something beats nothing. Mhm.
Yeah, you definitely have to have your ARAP pretty much established after about 24 months before you can really stand on your EIN at all. So yeah, definitely.
Good. So he's right, and that's why I said you want to have an age company. I'm doing it presently now. I'll show you y'all. I think I'll show you in a minute. So
Can
for the most,
can you go ahead real quick and define age? Because again, I understand from taking your classes, it was your company was age, meaning 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 2 or 3, 4 cars paid on time as agreed. But is there a defined term age? Does that mean 24 months or more, 48
okay.
months or
So
more?
listen, I love his question, but this is what it is. What the underwriter requires. Let me give you back to the example that I told you. I bought this family to the bank. That particular bank required you to be in business minimum of 2 years before they give you a low doc funding. So it's whatever the institution is, they determine how long you need to be. Some of them 3 years, some of them 5 years, some of them 10, depending on what you want. On average, it's 2 years or better for most institutions because they need to make these loans. But the people that's buying the loans want to make it to age companies. All right, does that make sense, Mr. Cooper? So, but if you're going to buy age corporation, you all 10 years would be great. But anything more than 3 would be great. You got me? That would be great, but it needs to be built out a certain way. What happens is a lot of people, they just hear age. They say, oh, I got an age company, but they don't understand that behind that age company, the banks and financial institutions, they can look at things. Like if you're 2, 3 years old, you're supposed to be making income. They're going to go to the SBFE and see what your financial statements look like. They're going to see what your bank rating look like. They're going to go to Dun and Bradstreet and maybe see if any financials they're experiencing somewhere else. They're going to look to see. And if you have those things, you move up to the higher funding. If you don't, you stay at a mediocre or lower funding range. So there's things behind the scene that needs to be inside of all of these algorithms that they can pull up and that they can see and not just take your word on it. You with me?
All right, so we're going and we're going in hot, Herman, because this is stuff that I know sometimes people are listening, but they're not asking. And I'm the person that's going to ask a question. Number one, it is for my benefit, but two, these are some questions I've learned in these courses that a lot of people will want to know, but they won't ask. So
I have a question.
go ahead.
Go for it.
I have an Age LLC 2004 that is FTB suspended. Can that be used as a shelf corporation and be revived?
Yeah, it can be revived. Well, I'm put this way, depending on the state that you're in. All right. So which state are you in? Huh?
California.
Oh my God. So
Oh.
how long this has been gone? Because they would make you pay all those back fees. It would behoove you just to acquire a shelf corporation without you having to pay all of those back years to come current. Because California is $800.
And that's exactly what I wanted to tell her, Herman. It can be revived. I had to go back for every year with the corporation. I don't know if it's LLC. You just got to pay that, and then you got to file saying you either made no money or with the money you made. I just elected because I figured it's going to come in handy to pay and get caught up versus start all over, Herman. And that was just...
It's up to you all. My thing is for you to do what's best for you. For me, right? You want to acquire Age Corporation from a company that knows what they're doing, so it could show up in all of the things. Most people think that, I've been in business 2 or 3 years, I wasn't active. Now I have an Age Corporation. I'm going to take this to the bank and I'm going to get maximum funding. Well, it's more to it than that. If that's the case, everybody in the country will get maximum funding. There's some things that have to be done to your corporation so you can get the maximum funding. Like, for example, if you tell somebody you've been in business 3 years, they're going to pull your Dun & Bradstreet. They're going to pull your Experian. They're going to pull your Equifax business. They're going to go to SBFE and pull your bank rating, right? Because they figured you've been in business 3 years, something has to be going on with you. You need to show up in somebody's back office. You got me? So people don't know that. So we have to make sure, as somebody that sells an Age Corporation, that all of these things I'm talking about is covered before you go to an underwriter, because I already know they're going to look. All right.
Let me ask you if you can fix this, Herman. I'm a trucking. We pay in settlements, right? So I'm RJ Cooper Enterprises, been receiving settlements from UPS since 2007 or whatever. But what I didn't do, and I did it for my nonprofit, I didn't register on Dun & Bradstreet, but I've got settlement statements that reflect 6 figures for that time period. Can you retroactively get that in there, or because UPS don't report?
No. So Dun & Bradstreet has some programs where you pay to play, and they'll let you put some stuff in there from other vendors. So that vendor, they'll accept that from the vendor to your Dun & Bradstreet. But I need to tell you this, right? And this is for everybody that's listening. Dun & Bradstreet is old school to me, right? They will come in industrial complexes. They came through farming and all that other stuff. When it comes to finance, Experian is the key. Experian business is the key where you want to show up. Most financial institutions, they pull Experian. It's cheaper, it's quicker, and everything else. Dun & Bradstreet, they tax people to report much higher than Equifax and Experian do. So most institutions, they will pull Experian. Chase is an exception, but for the most part, they may be moving over to Experian as well, because it's less on your bottom line to pull business Experian. So most finance companies, they pull Experian business. So that's the one that you want to make sure that it shows a good number, more than Dun & Bradstreet. Okay.
So I promise to shut up. My settlements, he then went through Bank of America with those 6 figures, whatever I made. So is that saying, I don't know if Bank of America's Experian or Equifax, so that's equally okay?
So listen, you're telling me about settlements. Does that have to do with credit? Because cash going into your account, the credit bureaus don't care about that. They only care if somebody issued you credit and that you paid that credit back. That's all they care about.
They don't care about, well, when you were saying the old school Dun & Bradstreet looks at your that Dun & Bradstreet score, but now you said that the if you're going after credit, it's going to look at Experian, or my settlements is the pay that you receive for your services in trucking that flow through my business account.
That has to do with your financial statements, Mr. Cooper, not credit. Dun & Bradstreet, they have to give you a risk factor, and on that risk factor is, they call it a paydex score, and that paydex score is from 0 to 100, and that'll show you how risky you are or not risky you are as far as paying your bills. That's what they're going to do. But inside of there, you can put in your financial statements into Dun & Bradstreet. So if somebody else goes to Dun & Bradstreet and they have a question about it, they can pull your financial statements. You with me? But that,
All
like
right, I'm done.
for experience is who you is when it comes to finance. That's the master you should try to please. Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm done. Rest of you guys, get in there where you fit in, because Herman's gonna take any question you have, but he's gonna keep on going with the program until he stops.
Yep. All right. So no, y'all give me some questions, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna start the PowerPoint. The thing is, for this is I can run through the PowerPoint. Y'all, I hate PowerPoints. I'm not gonna even lie. I was stalling, hoping not to even have to do a PowerPoint. But a lot of times the PowerPoint is for everybody else as well to even get up more questions. So before I get started, if there's any question, please, on Mike. I love questions.
Well, go ahead and do that, but we wanted to know, like,
Go
we're
ahead.
trying to form a business so that we can buy some property. And so
Both of y'all are talking at the same time.
The lady with the property, talk to me again. What's your question?
oh, I said there's a group of us here trying to get some property here in Texas, so we kind of want to know how we can go about doing that together as a group. Or
No,
should
no,
we
ma'am. No, ma'am. Y'all trying to get money because the money buys the property. That's the thing right there. So yes, we can help you get the money, but I'm gonna sound like a broken record. So if y'all have an optimized personal credit profile, you stick it into a business, they're gonna give you money. We're gonna get you business credit cards or business lines of credit, depending on the corporation. But I cannot take a real estate company there because real estate is seen as too up and down by most lenders. There's only a niche few lenders that will lend to real estate. But if I take you in there as a management company, as a consultant company, as a tech company, I can get you the maximum amount of money, and it's your company. Your company now can go and buy real estate. Your company now can do capital expansion. I'm just going to get you the money. What you do with it, long as it's the company's name on it, whatever you buy, you got to buy it in the company's name. You'll be fine. You follow me?
And we can use that. We can take that, Vanda, as an enterprises, because I've had so much success with being a enterprises that I've never heard anybody tell me no, that doesn't work.
Okay, go ahead
Correct.
with your presentation.
Also, can you
No, they won't-
define, just in case someone asks,
The
whether
question. Go ahead.
Dun & Bradstreet recognize you either public or private? Is it only private entities, or do they recognize public companies as well when they give you a score?
All right. So I believe your question is that Dun & Bradstreet recognizes public companies. They do, but not just public, because there's only a handful of public companies. For an example, New York Stock Exchange has only about 3,000 public companies on the New York Stock Exchange, but there are millions of businesses out there. Dun & Bradstreet will go broke just doing public companies. So they do everybody that has a PayDex score, or they'll create one for them. They'll keep credit on anybody. Really, they keep tabs on anybody. Right? You can get with them and you can make sure that the stuff in your file is up to par. And they just give them money. They'll help you. They'll report to people that's not even reporting to them. They'll let it report to your file if you give them a few dollars. That makes sense?
Is it a request from the individual or from Dun & Bradstreet?
So what happens is this here, right? So normally Dun & Bradstreet, if you're not paying them, for example, let's just say that you were doing business with the grocery store down the corner, okay? Right? And that grocery store does not report to Dun & Bradstreet. You know, they can give you credit, whatever the case might be. So, but if you get in one of Dun & Bradstreet programs, they'll let them company report on your credit profile. But otherwise, since that company wasn't paying Dun & Bradstreet, they wasn't in one of their reporting as a vendor programs, they wouldn't accept it. So it's like pay to play. That's how Dun & Bradstreet rolls. Pay to play.
That's old school. That's what they've been doing. Yeah, that's true.
Amen. Amen. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. Some people, they love it because, you know, they can get all of these people reporting that was not normally reporting, and they can beef up their files. But with technology now, you don't even have to go that way. You can use the people that's already reporting. All right. So
Now,
that's a great
last
question.
thought. You
Yeah, go
don't
ahead.
have to be an LLC. Can you be incorporated or subchapter S or?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. What
Okay.
happens is that they go to the state and they look at you, how you register with your state. That's what they do. Dun & Bradstreet don't care nothing what you tell them. They're going to go to the state and they're going to look to see how you incorporated that. That's how they're going to report you. And if any changes go about, you have to do the correct forms and send it to Dun & Bradstreet to say that entity changed. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I have a question. After you show us this this PowerPoint presentation, are you gonna like after you recap on that, are you gonna accept questions and so that we can, because we don't know what we don't know until we see the presentation. So we might have questions. Are you gonna be available to answer questions? And are you also gonna be able to give us contact information where we can contact you? Because it's a lot when you got a lot of people on the call and
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
this
So
going
can you hear
on.
me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, so the end question, yes, I'm gonna stay for questions because I love questions. Without questions, I'll be gone in a minute. So yes, I will stay for questions. The second thing is anybody that needs their personal credit done, right? You need to get with RJ because he's a premium brand ambassador with my program, and then we fix credit. I mean, we have one of the best AI fixes the credit. They remove bankruptcies, charge-offs, all of those things using artificial intelligence, and it's less than $50 a month. It's unheard of. I used to charge $1,500 for bankruptcy, another $1,000 to fix your credit, $2,500 just to look at you. This AI came about in less than $50 a month. It does the bankruptcy, charge off, late payments, all of those things. I've never seen anything like this before, and I've been in this business a minute.
Can you give the
So
name
if you
again?
don't have, if you have good credit and you don't need that,
So
then
let me say this. You're absolutely right that you have good credit, but I have to say this, and I don't mean any disrespect to you, ma'am.
no
But
problem.
no problem. So good credit and optimized for funding credit is two different things.
Two different
I'm
things.
gonna give you an example, right? I had a friend. He didn't use me to fix his credit. He went out and he added 5 authorized user trade lines. He didn't never had credit before. He'd always used cash, right? And I was telling him you need to do this, that. He didn't listen. He went out and he got 5 authorized user, high credit limits, low utilization. So his scores jumped up from lower 300, 400 to 800, 805, 810, right? I mean, beautiful scores. You look at him as the scores, you'd think he was the belle of the ball, right? But then he called me back 3 weeks later and said that he could not get nothing but a used car, some furniture, and he got an apartment. He couldn't get cash. He thought because he had 800, 805, 810, they were going to give him cash. So I told him to send my file over, sent it to my team, and they showed me that he had 5 authorized users. He had no primaries, nothing on there belonged to him. And so nobody that give out cash wasn't going to give him any money because those authorized users could be on there this month. Next month, they can come off if you don't pay whoever it is that you paid to put them on there. So they couldn't get no cash. So when people tell me that they have a good credit score, I think of my friend. So I need to know that if that credit score is optimized for funding, that's the thing I care about, because just having a good credit score don't mean you're going to get no money. Does that make sense, ma'am?
It does. Yeah, I caught that earlier when you had talked about the optimized situation, but I have an account with Experian, and so they monitor all of my stuff for me. But I just want to know that if you don't need to have any repairs done, then what steps do you take if you don't need to have any repairs or anything done?
Beautiful. So your next step would be this, and everybody, I'm going to take y'all through the steps. First and foremost, we have to make sure that your personal credit is optimized for funding, you all, because what's going to happen is your time is going to be wasted, right? And this is what I mean, right? So we can apply for somebody, and then they'll come back and they'll say, "Oh, you have too many inquiries," or "You have your utilization is too high," or something like that. So we just wasted everybody's time when we could have looked at first for little or nothing. They could have
So
looked
you
to
go
see
through the process first and just see where you at, and then we'll take it from there.
because we could have done something. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. The people that I took to the bank to get the 148,000 who was on welfare in Section 8, yes, they had an age corporation, but what I didn't tell you all is that I cleaned up their credit, then I added trade lines. I made sure that they were going to get the money. So there may be some things that we can do instead of shooting first and asking questions later. Let's analyze it and see if there is something that we need to do. And there's nothing. It was analyzed and it's good. But if it
That's
does
smart.
need,
That's smart.
that's what they say about me. But my wife said that no. I just talk a lot.
Well,
So
I
listen,
beg to differ.
I'm teasing. I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny. My wife don't. So listen. So all we do
No.
is analyze it first.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Y'all
so
still
I'm
laughing. Y'all know
No.
if y'all keep laughing, y'all gonna have to
You should
send me
probably,
something.
you should probably go
No,
to the
let me
PowerPoint before we get away.
this is he gonna do, and I want to say this real quick because Herman is very good at what he does, and he's very good at and now we finally get to see him. I've never seen him before. We bet on Clubhouse, so now I get to see the mugshot. And I apologize, I didn't get to clean up nicely, but what we're gonna be able to do, again, this is a recorded thing. So it was a good thing to say that it's going so fast. And then how do we get to see Herman again? I just want to just take a quick break because I'm going to have to, not going to shut down, but I'm literally working as we speak. Herman, through these programs, everyone will get an opportunity too. It's kind of like fast forward things that takes 2 or 3 years to see happen and accelerate. You know, you guys will be learning about Chat GPT, but with this program, and I did some things the old fashioned way, as we all have done. This is a program that still will take, when I say time, because you got to get your inquiries, those that have got credit checks and have things removed, you know, it's 30 days once you challenge them, and then 30 days before they clean it up, and they just keep going that process. This is more of an acceleration of that process, but depending on what you're going after, again, you can get $1,000, $5,000 easy, but we're looking at people that maybe millions. And so there is a process. He's never left because he had a hot date or something like that because he's married, but he'll stay here if you ask.
All right, can you hear me?
Ask 50 million questions, he's going to get fired up. And I guarantee you've seen it already. He said he don't do PowerPoint presentations. You'll get more information by asking questions. Without doing it, we'll be there. Go ahead, Herman.
All right.
Can you go and show the PowerPoint?
The other young man had a question. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, can you go ahead and show the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir. I'm like you, man. I really, 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 really like, okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. All right, so here it is right here. There's a couple of PowerPoints I have in here, but this is the business one. I had one for shelf corporations I was going to show, but I think y'all need to see this part first, because then shelf corporation is an extension of this right here, right? All right, so good. So a lot of people,
I'm
they don't
sorry, I have
understand
a question. Will
Go
you
ahead,
share this deck with us?
I think I'm going to share the whole video. I'm not going to share my deck. I think I'm going to share the video with y'all.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so this is what's going on, you all. Right now, before I get into this fast track to business funding, I don't even know which PowerPoint this is or how long it is, if it covers what I need, because I have so many. I teach all over the country when it comes to business credit, right? And the thing that I need y'all to know is that the first thing that y'all learn from me is that y'all have to have an optimized credit profile or get a credit partner with one. So that's a given right now. When I'm going through this program, I know that y'all understand that. And so if your credit needs a lot of work, it may behoove you to get a credit partner. That's all it is to it. Once you have that, now we can either build your business out or you can buy a business built out already. It's that simple. If it's built out already, we can take you and that optimized person straight to the bank. But if not, we have to build some stuff out. These are the steps to be able to get that done. Any questions about that? Beautiful. All right, let's go. Next slide. All right, so imagine your business soaring to new heights of success, effortlessly surpassing the competition. All right, how would that feel? Listen, y'all gonna learn some stuff y'all never learned before, but I want y'all to know, when I was facing this, I didn't believe it. But when it happened, I surpassed everybody else. I mean, I was able to open up 4 CDL schools, trucking company, staffing company, real estate development company. But if I had not known this, right, I could not even imagine taking a business to new heights. So that's how it made me feel. It made me feel that business credit was the best thing I ever heard of. Next. So we're going to get ready to ignite your business toward the next level, even if you don't have a business. Remember, there's things in here that you can do. Even if you have not opened up your business, you can start setting up. So when you do open up your business, it is ready, it's credit ready and ready for funding. Next. Experience business is what you want to do. You want your experience payday to look like gold, platinum, whatever it is, the big thing is these days. That's the one you really want to concentrate on. Man, we got to learn about taxes. We got to learn about finances. We got to learn about business credit. I think I was in Miami right there. They asked me to talk about business credit, finance, all of those things. Next. All right, so here I am right here, right? So up here in the left-hand corner, that's the governor of Louisiana. He gave me an award after the Small Business Administration, SBA, the Small Business Administration gave me an award for having one of the fastest growing business. Our governor didn't want to be outdone, so he gave me an award for a mentorship program, some mayors, some council people, all of that. But the SBA, because they are the largest guarantor of loans, that was very, very important to me because I'm in the loan business as well. So to be certified by them and be recognized by them was very, a very a good achievement for myself, right? And so at the bottom of those dump trucks I told you about, that I was able to get a $1.2 million worth of equipment financing using business credit and personal credit, right? And at the top, I've written books on business credit and personal credit as well. And it's #1 Amazon bestseller. And at the bottom is my flagship school. That's the first school I opened up. And that school there graduated thousands of people because I implemented a system for them to get their CDL in a couple of weeks instead of months or even years. All right. Next slide. So I'm in Atlanta right here. Had a logistics conference, and they asked me to come down and speak to logistics personnel, truckers, brokers, everybody on how to be able to access capital. That guy on the right, he has a popular podcast, and man, he put me on the podcast, and I just blew up. All right, next slide. All right, so this is the $5 million worth of funding that I tell people, right? That once your personal credit is optimized and your business credit is built out, you can then apply for lines of credit. I was approved for this $5 million line of credit through my business, right? They gave me that to be able to develop real estate. Next. So that's my general contractor right there. I have a general contractor's license, but I'll be honest with you, I don't prefer to be out there, right? And these are some of the properties we started with the line of credit. Next. All right, so everybody's not going to need $5 million, $1 million. Some of people may only need a couple of $100,000. So here, I decided to open up a second staffing company right here in New Orleans because my other one was in Baton Rouge, which was an hour and a half away from here. And I told the bank that I needed $250,000. So they was like, okay, put it in. But they didn't use my business credit because it was a brand new business. What they used was my personal credit leveraged into the business, and they approved me for $250,000 to do to make sure that my payrolls go through every week. All right. Next. All right. So here it is here, right? This company here is DIY Credit Optimize.ai. That's the one RJ Cooper is a part of. We have created this AI is so popular and it does so well that in a short period of time, this is the old one here, nearly 1,000 people jumped in to be able to get their credit optimized through DIY Credit Optimize, right? That to me is the best thing I've ever seen. Next slide. All right, so remember I told you all that I've helped people to get money without even building business credit. You can do this just on personal credit. You got me? And what I mean is that these people here, they didn't have time to build out their business credit. They wanted money right now. They wanted money to buy trucks. They needed money to do real estate. They needed different money. So we have a program whereas you don't want to wait, we can get you approved on the business side. On personal side. So let's look at the $250,000 we got somebody approved for, right? They said they can get the money if they have verifiable income of 95 a year. They did. They was making 110. They can get them $203,000 in installment loans, and they can get them some business credit cards. So a lot of time, these companies will go in and they will go after lines of credit and business credit cards to give you a total amount of how much they can get you. And these are just some of the people that we've helped to get 55,000, 80, 250, 55. It doesn't matter, long as you fit the profile. That's what I was saying earlier. Next. All right, this is one person. I don't know if they can play this or not. If you can't play it, don't worry about it, because I got a whole playlist for them. I could send them a whole playlist of testimonies and everything else. I'll have you play the playlist later. Keep going. All right, so here you come. The quickest way for you to do it is to look like a business, you all, right? That's why I call it fast track. If you have these things in place already and you have an optimized credit profile, we can take you straight to getting funding that doesn't show up on your personal credit. So you can elevate your business. You can brace yourself, because the money that came in, it shocked me when American Express approved me for $27,000. Bank of America approved me for $50,000. Bank of Hawaii for $25,000. The first three banks that approved me, I got over $100,000, and I didn't even know that this would work because I never even heard of it before, right? But that's why I call it fast track to business funding, because if you look like a business and you optimize your credit profile, they're going to give you money. Next. So here again, it's good for pre-established incorporated companies, right? Age companies, legally formed. It does not matter. We can get anybody funding if you just follow the blueprint. That That is the thing. Now we're talking here about a shelf corporation, right? And in this shelf corporation right here, to define it for you, shelf just means it's been sitting on somebody's shelf for a while. But credit ready means that I took it off the shelf and I started adding credit inside the corporation. And once you do that, that corporation is more valuable because it already has accounts in it already. It already has accounts with Sam's, Walmart, Lowe's Depot, Best Buy, all of those things. And those accounts have been reporting on time to give this business the best business credit profile out there. Next. So there's three major benefits of a shelf corporation: established track record, access to funding opportunities, and it saves time, because if you had to do this, wait then build this out, make sure everything was paid on time, get your website, get your logo and everything else, it would be a time consuming. So to me, it's the difference between you building a house from scratch or you buying a house that's already built and furnished. Right? Next.
Hello there. My name is Matthew. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to Top Shelf Incorporated. Thank you for taking the time to join us in this awesome presentation. Trust me.
Ms. Fatima, I'm going to send everybody this presentation, all right, because that's about 6 minutes long and I don't have it, right? So a lot of times, Optimized Shelf Corporation, I tell people that this is the secret sauce for immediate funding because it's already ready for funding. It already has everything, what they call lender compliance. Everything is in it. It has a history, it has price to value, all of that, because you're about to take this straight to the bank to go get funding, and you get professional assistance from us. Next slide. So strategies: you build an established track record. It has business relationships already with the different vendors we talked about. It improves your financial position because it's already doing business already. And if you develop a solid business plan to go with that, man, you're really ready for anything that they ask for you, right? So I tell people to get that professional assistance or what have you. Next. So steps to effectively manage. You have to have your objectives in place, all of those things. So, but the difference is, you want to get a shelf corporation that is not high risk. You don't want to get a shelf corporation in the real estate, into trucking. You don't want to get one that does money lending or even dry cleaners or restaurants and bars, right? You need to be able to plan to get one that's in a high funding NACE code, right? Those NACE codes includes technology, right? Those are easy to get funding. If you have a tech company, right? If you have a management company, if you have a marketing company, right? Any one of those NACE codes are easier to get the higher amounts of funding. Next. All right, so right here, when I told you all that I bought my wife a shelf corporation and I'm building it out, right? This is one of the trade lines that I added to her shelf corporation. It's a $500,000 trade line. And the reason why I added a $500,000 trade line to a corporation, because in business funding, there's something called comparable credit. And the same thing in real estate. You do comps for the houses that's around you to get an idea of how much your house is around. It's a thing. For example, if you have a 4-bedroom house with a pool, they're going to comp other 4-bedroom house with a pool and a 1 mile radius to get an idea of how much your house is going to sell for. So business credit works the same way. They're going to pull your business credit profile, and if they don't see large loans on there, you're not going to get the $500,000 or $1 million loans if they don't see that you've used those in the past. So I added a $500,000 trade line to her business credit profile. So now she can go after millions of dollars of funding because they see in there that she's handled hundreds of thousands of dollars already. Next slide.
Hey, Mr.
Right.
Herman, I have a really quick question.
I love questions. Talk to me, man.
You said you bought the Shelf Corporation. Where exactly did you look for that? Was that a biz buyer sale type business, or was that somewhere else?
All right. So what happens is I partner with the person who creates them. So we do those. We build and sell shelf corporations as well. So the person who I got it from, we partner and we build them and we sell them. That was it, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, here it is here. When I was telling y'all that the experience score is the one that you need to really look at more than anything else. And here's this one right here is 85. I now then pushed that up to 92 because this PowerPoint is about a month or so old, but now my experience is about a 92. All right, my business experience. Next slide. So here is an example of what a shelf corporation that's aged and credit ready should look like before you go to take it to get funding, right? It has to have age on it. It needs to have virtual offices. It need to be in lender compliant, like logo, website, email, all of those things, right? And this particular company right here had Dun & Bradstreet 80 PEDX score, Experian 82 IntelliScore, Equifax business score, FICO, SPSS is super important because that's for the SBA loans that RJ was talking about earlier. If you have anything over 155, you can automatically be approved for SBA funding, right? It need to have vendor accounts, and vendors, Uline, the Grangers, all of those things, the Sams, all of those other things are vendor accounts. Fleet cards or gas cards. This one had 3 different business credit cards in it, not to include Floor and Decor, Amazon, Sam's card. And this is the key that somebody asked me about earlier. All of this was EIN only. That's because we built out this business and put so much credit in it that we were able to get credit with using just the EIN number for this particular business. Once we go get the EIN funding, then we take it and we'll use somebody's great credit profile and we start applying for low doc funding and business credit cards. All right. Any questions here? All right, beautiful. Next slide. All right, so here it is here. People, when I first got my American Express with a brand new business, I only got 27,000. And I noticed when people get their, when they just use their personal guarantee and they don't build out their business, that they get about the same amount, anywhere from 15 to 35,000 when you don't build out your business. This is 95,000 came because we built out their business. All of those things that you've seen before, then we applied to American Express to get a business credit card, because when they went and they seen we had a business Experian, we had a business Equifax, we had a Dun & Bradstreet, we had an SPSS score, we had all of those things, we get higher approvals because that shelf corporation is built for funding, for you to get the higher approvals. Okay.
Question. If I have both personal and business platinum cards already with Amex, would you, I don't use the platinum personal, I just use the platinum business for all of my expenses. Would you recommend me not using the personal?
That's beautiful.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I never want you to use your personal credit card for anything because it hurts your utilization unless it's absolutely necessary. Now, on the business side, I'm not sure if you got 95,000 or not, but I do know that once we build out your business the way it needs to be, you can go back and ask for an increase, and then we'll pull and look at everything and give you that increase if that's what you're asking. But it sounds like you was asking whether to use something or not. So if you can elaborate, I can answer your question, which I love questions.
So real quick on that platinum, Herman, because I'm curious. I got the platinum, but they never, can you hear me okay?
Mm.
Can you hear me okay?
A little bit now, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just real quick. When they never gave me a limit, and I never asked, because I never thought I'd be going 100,000, because what they did tell me, I still got to pay it off in 30 days. But I guess when they don't give you a limit, does that mean if you go do something, decide to spend 100,000, they're going to hold on that if they don't tell you what the limit, or is that unusual to get? And my credit was good.
Yeah, so it's been my experience that you're going to create your own limit. So whatever you use it for, right, in that 1 month, that's going to become your limit. So a lot of people come to me thinking they got an unlimited American Express. I had a guy had a trucking company, and they filled up, I think, about 15,000 that month. That 15,000 became his limit, right? So they tell you that it's unlimited, but they watch your spending power, they watch what you do, and then that becomes your limit. So they're gonna put a limit on based on how you use it. You follow me? Because he couldn't get no more than that 15,000 in the future, because 15,000 became his limited from his unlimited American Express. This is a little different. This is the one that they actually gave him a limit on. All right. Okay, he frozen. Anybody else can hear me? All right, next slide. Wait, somebody
We can hear you.
else had a question. A young lady had a question. I wasn't finished with her, but somebody had a question about the American Express period. I wasn't sure if I finished.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I have both business and personal platinum.
Beautiful.
And so just wanting to know mainly how to optimize the business.
Got you. All right. Well, we're going to definitely cover that so you can be able to see that the stuff that I showed you before was a way to optimize your business credit to be able to get higher amounts of funding. Next slide, Ms. Fatima. All right. So here's another one. I think this is EIN only, right? That they got approved for $10,000 on one of the cards. Capital on Tap was just EIN. So the lady was asking before, can we get business credit without EIN? Yes, but you're not going to get a whole lot. This was 10,000 with EIN. The 95,000, the person had to use their personal credit. You got me? But there are programs out there that if they see that you're properly built out, they will give you access to funding on EIN only. All right. But remember, I started on the personal credit side. So this was even better information that you can do EIN, but you have to build out your corporation to look like the ones that I just showed you. Next. So, okay, in essence, that's pretty much what a fast track is that you use a shelf corporation to take it to a bank already that's already in lender compliance. It already has credit in it already. And for people that are interested in shelf corporations, that's the website right there. You can go there and you get more information on shelf corps. But there's something I need to make sure that you understand, that you will get some money, but you're going to get the most money if you use an optimized credit profile. So that's why I encourage you all, if you don't already have a optimized credit profile, some and your family don't, because it's better if multiple you all have an optimized credit profile, get with RJ so he can show you his link that he can start the AI process where him and my team helps you to be able to build out your personal credit. But if you already have personal credit, like somebody keep telling me, and you want to be able to get business credit, the best way to get the business credit is to have a shelf corporation. But even if you can't afford a shelf corporation, you can get with my team, and then they can help you with whatever you got going on to help build your corporation out. Still going to cost you money, but it's not as much money. Next slide. And I'm going to talk about the money in a minute. All right. So this is an event I got coming up, a boot camp mastery class that's coming up real soon. I won't bore y'all with that. We changed the date to August 11 or something. Next slide. All right, put the other PowerPoint on there if you want for a second, but now I'm going to go ahead and take questions and from the people in the audience. So I need y'all to kind of understand this here, right? That y'all just seen Age Credit Ready Shelf Corporation. Those Age Credit Ready corporations, if y'all look them up already, they can run you into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. They can. We decided to create them, put them together for way less than 100,000. So the minimum, a lot of times these companies are selling for, if there's cash in them, is 50%. So if you have $100,000 worth of cash in a corporation already, they'll sell it to you for 50,000, build it out and everything else. We decided to sell it for a lot less than that and even finance it for people. That was the thing that separates us from everybody else, is that we finance the people's shelf corporation, and those people are able to get the process started quickly. Now, I need to explain this to everybody, right? That there's several ways to skin this cat, right? And one way is for you to get the shelf corporation aged already, and for you to take that Age corporation and you build it out yourself. You add all those vendor lines, you add a website, you add a logo, you apply for all the different cards and everything else, right? You can do it yourself just with an Age corporation, all right? Or you can get one that's built out already, or have us to build one for you, which would be a lot better because we know what we're doing. We know exactly how to get the high limit credit cards. We know exactly what has every algorithm, right? What the banks are going to look for. So you can do it yourself, or you can get with me or my company and we can do it for you, which is, to me, is the best route. But what is the best route is what you decide, honestly. My route is that I built my first corporation myself, right? And like I said, I got a $27,000 American Express card, thought I was the stuff, right? I'm like, okay, man, 2-week-old company, I got 27. And now I've been getting my clients, once we build it out correctly, add the business trade lines, add everything in else, from 80 to $150,000 worth of just American Express. Totally, they may get anywhere from $250,000 or even higher total funding, all right, from a corporation that we built out, because this is what we do, all right. Now go back to that, Miss Fatima. Either put the new PowerPoint up there so I can go straight to the prices for them, because this one didn't have the price on it. This was the old one that we had created a while ago. That's why
Hey,
they still
Herman.
had the 82.
Herman, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
real quick, we're an hour
Mhm.
into it, and I know this is a lot. We got 25, 26 people in here. We didn't know. We knew 6 was at least 6, and we got up to 25. I'm going to say this real quick. If you're able to put in the chat, I know people were asking, how can we get back to Herman? And I'm just kind of working with him as a we call it an ambassador, but through the invitation, I want to make sure you guys put your email address, or I put my information in there. Reach out and make sure we at a minimum have your email or your phone number, or your email and your phone number if you want to get a copy of this. We want to stay focused. Again, this is a lot of information. Everybody, it's new to me still. I'm continuously learning. I may end up dropping off because I'm actually working. But if I do, Herman, again, when you close out, to those that are, again, wondering, how do we get back in this? How do we go to that next level? Make sure in the chat, or that I have, or whoever invited you that knows me, I have your email and your phone number, because this thing we're moving, and we're moving with intent. I appreciate everybody that took the time to come here, Herman, and I appreciate you rocking as well. And I'm sure you had a lot of people excited, as am I. So make sure you do those 2 things at a minimum. Your email address, if it's private, your phone, get it to me directly. Again, I'm if they call a affiliate ambassador, but those that came through here because of me, we're here to make stuff happen and not just to talk about it. Pleasure having you all here, Herman. Go ahead with your presentation. It's been an hour, and again, he will not stop as long as you have questions. So I just wanted to let him know ahead of time. I may have to drop off.
Yeah, he's warning y'all. He's warning y'all. Mm-hmm. All right. So, well, for the most part, I'm gonna need to back up for 1 second. This is why, right? Because there's different ways to get funding. You can do business credit cards. You can do lines of credit. You can do corporate credit. There's different things that you can do. You can do EIN only funding. So there's different ways to get funding. Now, for me, I told you I started off with business credit card. That was the quickest and easiest way. I call it low-lying fruit, to go in, use your personal credit, look like a business, then start applying for business credit cards. Later on, I found out once I add business trade lines, once I add a bunch of them, I get high amounts of funding for me and my clients. So there's different ways to do it. The way that you do it is going to be depend on how you want to do it. I started with building out my own corporation first. So this is how I know it off the top of my head, that when you build out your own corporation to take it for funding, you have to look like a business. When I say you look like a business, you need to have a commercial address. You need to have a business telephone number that goes back to that address. You need to have a website, an email, professional email address, right? Occupation license, all of those things that some 20-something-year-old underwriter is going to look at when they're evaluating your business credit application. So we're making sure that you have all of those things checked off. So once you do, and you take your optimized credit profile, they can go and start getting you business credit cards immediately, right? As well as low doc funding. That's where you don't have to provide much documentation. That's what I did for that couple I told you about. We built up their personal credit. We made them look like a business, and we got them low doc funding. So there's different ways to get this thing done. My preference is that if you're in a hurry and you need capital right now, just use your personal credit to get it done, because we have programs for that. If you have some time, build out your business credit, look like a business, and apply for those business credit cards that we talked about. We got a sequence of who we go to first, who we go to second, because it gives us the maximum amount of funding, because of some certain requirements about increasing and which bureaus are pulled, right? And then lastly, right, you can do the EIN funding only. If your personal credit isn't where it needs to be, we can put you in this shelf corporation, and then let the shelf corporation get you a SAMS card that's going to have capital on it, and capital on tap card, a debit card. That's EIN only. It's not personal credit, while your personal credit is being worked on. So this is why I love the versatility that it gives you. You can do so many things with that, right? You can, without a doubt, you can build this thing from scratch, or you could take one that's built out already, put a credit partner in it, and take it to the bank. There's so many different things that you can do when we're talking about building business credit or buying a shelf corporation with business credit in it already. Okay, now back to the prices, because that's super important for some people, right? So a lot of times for just a shelf corporation, they'll charge you for however many years it's open. So if you have a shelf corporation that's 3 years old, they'll charge you $1,000 a year to $3,000. So a lot of times, if you go to get a 10-year-old corporate company, they'll charge you about $10,000. Not us. We apply a flat rate of $3,000. We even finance it for you as well. And it doesn't matter how much age. Like I bought one for $3,000 that was 12 years old. It would have cost me $12,000 in the past. And a client of mine bought one, and that person was able now to get into luxury Airbnb business. Before she tried to apply with a 6-month-old corporation, they denied her, telling her that corporation has to be at least 2 years older. She didn't have a 2-year corporation. She came in, bought it, and then she was able to get the luxury Airbnb and clear about $3,000 to $4,000 a month from her Airbnb business because she wouldn't be able to do it without an age corporation. Same thing. Some people is applying for government contracts. Government requires for you to be in business at least 2 years. And so they were able to buy a corporation that was 8 years old and get that government contract. So age corporation comes in handy when you need that. When I told you I bought those people, one of the requirements is that they have a company that was at least 2 years old, right? And they met that. We just beefed up their corporation for funding, right? So that corporation, just an age corporation, runs about $3,000. And again, we'll finance it. Now, the one that I showed you all up there on tape, Miss Other,
Herman,
yes.
are you financing at 0%?
Oh man, no ma'am.
I'm sorry.
But we can help you get some 0% credit cards for a short period of time. Like I think they offer 6 months to 2 years worth of 0% credit cards. Mhm.
They got 18 months out there, but yeah.
It's different. It's different from 6 months to 2 years, depending on if they need to what they need to do. Meaning,
Okay.
yeah, if it's Truist, American Express, Key Bank, it just depends. All right.
But what are you financing percentage on the 3,000?
It depends on your credit. Like I think it runs from 600 to 850, and if you had a 600, the interest is going to be a lot higher than if you had 850. So it can run anywhere. I'm going to say from about 3% to about 21%, depending on somebody's credit.
Wow.
But I need to say something right quick. Right? So if you're going to get a vehicle, you're not, in my estimation, right? I've taken loans on money that had high interest rate, like either hard money, but I was making a killing from what I was using the money for. So do not let what you're paying on interest rate stop you from being able to leverage that money to make more money if you're going to make way more money than the interest you're paying. For example, let's just say you're paying 8% interest, but you're moving something that made 100% profit. So if somebody say no to 8% to not make 100%, I would be worried about their business acumen. You got me? It's how much you can flip with the money and make more money with more than what you pay on interest, because the interest is a byproduct of using other people's money to get something done. And I'm not saying don't always try to get the lowest amount of interest, but what I'm saying is do not let interest stop you from being able to make more money. If you got a deal going on, if you got something to make more money with. If you don't, I agree with you. But if you're trying to get money and you're haggling over whether it's 6% or 8% to miss out on 100% flip, I would say something's wrong. What about you?
Totally agree.
I like that. All right. I need you to talk to my wife. All right. So that's what that part is there. You want to be able to use other people's money. When I first got my money, I tell y'all, I got approved for 130. I took 110, right? That 110 came at about 8%, right? So I paid over 8,000 or 9,000 for that money. You got me? But I put it into the market. In my first trade, I made $20,000 on. So I made that little 8,000 off of nothing. I did something called cover call, right? Which is a safe investment. But at any rate, I knew I was going to make more money for it. And I knew I need to keep making money to pay the note until my business opens up fully. So as long as you have something to invest in that's going to give you a return, you do it. But if you don't, then yeah, you ought to be worried about if you're overpaying for a loan, because if you ain't got no money coming in, how you going to pay the damn loan? All right. Except with their own money. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns here? Anything?
I have one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
Your mentor wouldn't happen to be the name of Terrence Cash, would it?
No, my mentor was Maurice Shabazz out of the Bay Area. And I was, man, I'm not the type of student you want. I got 1,000 questions. Y'all quiet compared to me. I didn't believe, so I was everything. I was trying to poke holes in everything. Till the guy said, listen, if you have any more questions after 2 weeks, I'll take them on. But let's get you the money. And after that, he was right. I ain't have no other questions except how I can get some more. All right. So no, I don't know Terry Cash though.
That's where I met.
So I have a question with regards to getting started then. Does it mean we need to have a project, a well-defined project or well-defined investment before buying into any of this?
So my thing is, no, you need to have more than anything else. You should have something to invest that money in. You understand? Because as soon as you take the money, there's going to be fees involved, and that fee's going to come every month. You got me? So if you don't have anything, that means you're going to take the money that I got you to pay the fees back until there's no more money. Follow me? So my preference is for you to have something to invest that money in, or otherwise you're just going to be using that money to pay the bill back, and then that's to defeat the purpose.
Right, big time.
Mhm.
Okay. What would your recommendation be? See, for instance, just, I don't know if this is the right place, but so spending my own cash. I have spent, say, my own money in
Yes,
my
ma'am.
investment.
Mhm.
100% of my money, say, between my savings and my 401k, that's what I'm paying for everything with, which I wish I hadn't,
No, ma'am.
because
No, ma'am. So let me help you real quick. Always use other people's money. Save your money for a cushion. So you optimize your personal credit, you build out the business, or you buy your shelf corporation, use other people's money. They're going to give you their money. They live off the interest. So if they just want the interest, and I'm able to put, let's say, for instance, I want to put $250,000 on $1 million duplex, right? Or $1 million multifamily. Then I'm able to put their money down, let the multifamily pay that loan back, and give me a cash flow. And I've never touched my money. My money's saved for a rainy day. Always.
so I already made the mistake of spending my own money.
No. You learned the lesson. Okay.
Yes,
You
I did. I learned an expensive lesson.
It's fine. It's fine. I got 7 college degrees, right? And now I don't use none of my degrees. But don't get me wrong, it helps me with financial statements, income, and all that other stuff. But I wish I'd have learned this first. I wouldn't even got 7 damn degrees. Got me? I'd have went straight into leveraging my credit to bring in money to bring in income for CDL schools, trucking company, staffing company, real estate development. I'd have went straight there. I wouldn't have went through years and years of goddamn college. You know, I mean, the education was great, but I was going there to make money, and this helped me more than anything else. So you learned the lesson, like I did. Okay.
Okay. So should my getting into this, should my expectation be that the credit and everything, all of this will take on average about 3 months to get technically started?
Okay. Can I be like transparent with you?
Yes, please.
Beautiful. So it depends on what type of money you have. So let me give you an example. I don't know what type of car people on here have, but I do know us African Americans buy more Cadillacs and Mercedes than any other racial group, right? Just to be able to do that. So I don't know what an average Mercedes costs these days, but let's just say it's 45,000, just for argument's sake, right? So
Yeah.
so we will go out and we will spend 45,000 on a Mercedes, right? That's going to depreciate. That's going to, I guess, make them look good or feel good or whatever the case might be. Not downplaying that. But when I tell them that for $35,000, they can bring in $400,000, they tell me they don't have $35,000, not even to finance it. So a lot of times I'm a little hesitant to even deal with people that their mindset isn't toward investing in themselves to bring in a greater return. You got me? So they still left with their Mercedes, which is okay with me. But my first thing, when I got that 180,000, I never looked back. I've gotten millions since then, but you have to learn the process of in a capitalistic system, how to raise capital, how to raise other people's money, how to leverage that and make money. So that's the thing. First thing I would have you to do is to make sure your personal credit is optimized. And this is everybody that's here, optimized for funding. I don't care you come telling me you got a 720, 730. I don't care nothing about a score. I care that your personal credit is optimized. After that personal credit is optimized, you have a decision to make. Do you want to get a shelf corporation and build it out yourself? Or do you want to buy one or get one from us and let us build it for you? Or do you want to buy one that's already done? That's it. From there, you're going to get the money because your personal credit is optimized. The entity that you're using is built out correctly. The banks can't wait to give you the money. They ain't going to do nothing but sell a loan. They can't wait to give it to you. You just have to fit their checkoff box.
So do you start off
So
with
are you
optimizing
saying
your personal credit?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Let me finish with her, and I got you next. I
Okay.
promise. Because
Yeah.
you got some insightful questions all throughout the talk. I like that. So yes,
So are you
ma'am.
saying the next steps from here would be to reach out to JK?
Okay, so this is the thing. Whether it's JK or whoever, doesn't matter. But I mean, I prefer him because he brought you here, right? That he makes sure that credit is optimized through his link. But this is my thing. That shelf corporation is going to be your funding vehicle. That's what you're going to use to raise hundreds, if not millions of dollars. That's going to be the thing that you're going to do to raise the money. It's that shell corporation. But I want you to know that they're going to pull your personal credit softly if they have to. I have an account with TransUnion right now. I can see all of your credit. I only need your name and address. I don't even need your social security number. Got me? They're going to look at your credit. So I got to make sure when I send you there that your credit is optimized, because I know they're going to look. You're not going to even see that they look. You got me? So I cannot send you anywhere that I know they're going to look at your credit being not prepared. So I tell people this all the time, and please believe I'm not boasting or bragging. I graduated summa cum laude, magna cum laude, every laude you can think of from these universities, right? And none of my bankers cared about that. Not one of my bankers ever cared about any of my achievements as far as academic achievement. Everyone asked me about my personal credit and my business credit. When I found that out, I stopped even talking about those degrees. I had to make sure when they pull my credit, right? When they do it, either soft or hard, they got what they were looking for. So even if you have to have trade lines, whatever you do, I'm going to tell everybody here, having an optimized credit profile is the foundation of everything that I'm talking about. Because with that there, once you grab that corporation, whether you build it yourself, you let me build it, or you buy it, right? You off to the races. You'll never look back. When I first got that money years and years ago, right? I thought I was listen, I was blown away. I'm not going to lie to you all. I didn't think it was going to happen. And when it did happen, I was blown away. And I never looked back. Never had to work for nobody. Never had to do nothing. Always used other people's money to be able to fund any business that I wanted. Loved it.
I'm
Got
ready
me?
to make an appointment.
So they got Dr. Shelf Corp for people that want to buy corporations, buy Shelf Corp. I need to make sure that you are ready, both financially, mentally, all of those things. So you can book a consultation at Dr. Shelf Corp. I think my team might have put it in the chat. Let me see if they put it in the chat. Yeah, you see it's in the chat.
Yeah, I got it.
In the chat. Okay. And from that, you book, and then my teams talk to you. And when they find out that you are ready, both mentally and financially, then they book you with me.
So the consultation is free? The first
Yes, ma'am.
consultation?
I just want you to know that the Shelf Corporation will cost you money. Either you're going to finance it or you're going to buy it. And if you not move forward, it's really don't need to talk to me, because I'm telling you what works. I'm showing you what works, and I'm telling you what works. And if that's not enough, I just figure you're not ready. You might have one come back maybe next lifetime. Not personally to you, but that's everybody. By the time they get to me, they got to be ready to move forward. I done got up in the tooth. In the age, I only work with people that's ready to take action. I can't be in the thing where I convince you that this is right. I done been through it too much. If you like Harriet Tubman, I would have left with Harriet Tubman, but I wouldn't have left on my own. But I would have left with somebody that already knew the way. Got me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I can sit up here and lie to you at all. But
Yeah.
I
My
would
next
walk with
question,
somebody. Wait, yes, ma'am. I love questions.
do you buy corporations that
Do I buy them?
Yes. Do you say, if I got a corporation that I'd like for you to buy, can you
Yes, ma'am. I would
analyze
take
it
a
to
look
see-
at it to make sure that
Right.
there's no liens against the corporation, that no UCC1 filings, or that it has nothing bad. Because what happens is that if you miss the payment on the business side, see, on the personal side, I can help you. If you miss a payment on the personal side, I can go after whatever agency that is and get that off your credit profile. In the business world, if you done turned around and you miss some payments, that thing is no good to me. They don't take it off. It's not like personal, right? It remains on there. Once they validate it in 14 days, they got 14 days to validate it. If those people don't respond, it automatically comes off in business. But if anybody said you were late on the payment and it got validated, that thing is no good to me. You got me? But if it is a good corporation, it haven't had any issues or anything else, yes, we could look to talk about you go ahead and selling me a shelf corporation that I can validate. So short answer is yes.
Are you able to
Long-
help people that are retired?
All right, go ahead.
Are you able to help people that are retired?
Say that again about retired.
Are you able to help people that are retired?
I help anybody that wanted to help themselves, man. I don't discriminate. I tell people in a minute. My friends were on Section 8 and welfare. They're no longer on Section 8 and welfare. So I know this can help anybody, whether you're retired, welfare, you're rich, you're poor, you just didn't get the financial literacy. We will help anybody that want to help themselves. But again, and I don't want to seem mean or something, a lot of people, they want to talk to me about their dreams and aspirations. And I'm a doer. My wife will tell you in a minute, you're talking to me, wasting your time. He's going to be out the door and doing something. I can't keep still. You understand? I'm gonna be like this till they throw hurt on me. So to people, they want to talk to me about what they want to do. I have a dream speech. I'm not. I can walk with you to Washington, but I can't stand by and listen to. I have a dream speech. So if
Yeah,
you're ready
I'm
to take
about doing-
action, where we're out, hook up with you.
Yeah,
I'm about
I'm
that.
about action.
About it,
Yeah,
about
I'm ready
yes,
to take action. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, it's not a problem. Book. You can. They put all of those things in there. Book it. They're gonna verify that you're ready, and after that, you talk to me, and then we start moving. Like, you know what I mean? Because you've already been verified by my team, so we start moving
Okay, I
after
have a
that.
question,
All right.
please.
I love. What's
Keontae,
your name, ma'am? It's Keontae with the pretty red
are
hair.
you a
Talk to me,
venture
ma'am.
capitalist?
No, ma'am. I know venture capitalists. What I do is I get you ready to go to the venture capitalist.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, did you have a venture, or you just had a question?
No, I have an actual live venture right now.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it
Congratulations.
was recommended that we come into the room by Mr. R.J. Cooper.
Oh, no, it's good. Cooper, listen, Mr. Cooper and I, he's been jumping on my stage for a while. He's very good at bringing people together and helping people. I love that about him. He will help anybody that wants help. I absolutely love that. So he said, would I like to speak to his people? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you this, depending on how much you need, if you need the millions, you would go to private equity or venture capital. But if you just need to raise out, don't give your stuff away to a venture capitalist, because they're gonna take as much. So if I can help you raise the money on your own, and until you're ready to take, let your product be more valuable than giving up so much in the interim, that would be your best bet. But it's up to you. Like I said, I don't know what you're doing, but I just know how venture capitalists and private equity people work. All right.
Okay, we need 2.2 million, so maybe we can talk and have a different conversation.
We can. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Because I'm with no questions, there's no me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love questions that much. Okay. So they put the link in there, Dr. Shelf Corp. The people that's serious that want to move forward, they press the link, I sign up. My team is gonna kind of like give you the once over, and then you pass that once over, you'll be able to meet with me, and we'll start moving forward like immediately. Okay.
Mr. Ivy had a question.
I love questions. Talk to me. They on mute? Are they shy now? I know they probably just want to ask me if I'm Kent or Denzel Washington, so it's no. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that might be a stretch.
To Denzel?
But you do have that smile just like him, though. I will give you that.
Boy, listen, you're trying to get lower interest rate on your loans, ain't you?
Of course, why not? Let's start somewhere.
Listen,
Okay, I
my
have a
students,
question.
my CDL students would tell me that. They said, man, you look like Denzel. I said, no, you're not getting an A. But you
Okay,
you might get an
filling
A
out the form.
minus, but you might not get an A.
Mr. Herman, I'm filling out the form and it asks.
So I'm going to tell you all, right? Whoever said that, y'all need to follow her suit, because I give my energy to action takers. I'm not going to even lie to y'all. I'm better.
So I'm
I
running
might
to a
look
hiccup.
like it, but I'm way past 50. I'm on the other half of reaching 100, right? And so I only kind of spend my time with action takers. I can't do the other part. I used to teach. I'm gonna tell you all this story, right? I was a instructor, and they had me teaching troubled kids, like they needed their GEDs and stuff like that, right? And I would just be at every desk, 30 desks. I'm at every desk every morning, at every desk trying to help them. So I realized everybody didn't want help. So everybody that didn't want to help, I put them out. I sent them to the library. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. The people that stayed, I helped them. And those people graduated at the top of their class when they took their GEDs. So from that point on, I only give my energy to people that want help. The other people came back, believe it or not, when
Okay,
they
so
seen how other people were doing. So as long as
with
you
that
taking
being said,
action,
I'm stuck
I
right now. I
will
need
give
to
you
keep
my
going.
Mm,
On
ma'am.
the form, it's saying for employment, disabled and self-employed. You can only check one. On the
Beautiful. You
form
do
itself.
self-employed. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
On my
Mr.
form, for
Herman
me,
just said,
if it's the form on Dr. Shelf Corp, you just put whatever it is. If you're retired, put retired. If you're stuck,
But I'm
put that.
both.
It's okay. That's my form.
What if you're both?
Listen, I know we live in a new generation. People have multiple things, but if I tell you could just put one, you could just put one. I told you I think I'm funny. My wife don't though. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a question, another question about the shelf company. So we have multiple LLCs, and my business partners are on here as well, Tatiana and Jennier's Investment Group.
All right.
So let's speak about Jennier's Investment
Well,
Group.
welcome investment.
Huh?
Let's talk.
So Jennier's Investment Group, it's got some history going into the second year, but not income. So if we were interested in the shelf company idea with respect and wanted to build the credit profile for Janaires, the shelf company would actually supersede the current business, correct? Just so I understand correctly.
No. So if you buy a shelf corporation, it's a standalone entity. You can put some stuff under there later on if you want to, especially if that thing has revenue. But when you say they had no revenue, there's no need to. Reason why the shelf corporation is built out. I don't know if you ever seen the show, The $6 Million Man, right? I forgot the name with the guy name who did it. But we can make them better. We can make them faster. You can jump higher. When you get a shelf corporation from us, you're the $6 million woman. You with me? Because our shelf corporation is built out for funding. What y'all did with your corporation prior to that, I would have to guess. I would have to guess whether or not y'all financials are showing up in the right spot, the right number of employees that is in the right spot, right? Everything is right. I would have to guess. With our corporation, everything is already hitting on point. This is why people are able to get a $95,000 American Express. I know some of you have and y'all believe y'all have unlimited, but it's not unlimited. However much you use a month becomes your limit. But this was a limit. This was a $95,000 limit for one credit card. We got that person 200 and something thousand because the credit corporation was built out properly. Wherever they look, they seen a built out corporation. But if you come to me and say, hey, I got a shelf corporation, I'll build it for you. I can't promise you no money because I don't know what you put inside it. I don't know what's showing up at SBFE, what's showing up on your SPSS score, nothing like that. I can add and build everything to it, but more than likely, most people don't know what they're doing. So it's like you come to me, I'm the person that's going to fix your car to make it run, right? Instead of you going and buy a car that you can flip later. Like I got a Rover, right? And they told me you can't sell your Rover in China because we would ban you. I don't care. China wanted $250,000. I paid 100 something. Shit, China got my Rover. You got me? So you can either do it yourself, right? Or you can get one that's able to be flipped and make a lot of money with. That's already ready. You got me?
Okay, so if we wanted some viable history for Janaires, that's what you're saying, like do it myself. Is there a
No.
blueprint
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something real quick, right? You have options right here, and this is everybody. You can, by all means, do it yourself. It's not a problem. I did it myself years and years ago. I've learned the way. So you can do it yourself. I'm not going to sit here. You can go on YouTube, Instagram. You can get it, or whatever the case might be, right? My preference is when you're building your first house, don't do it by yourself. Even doctors, when they're in medical school, they're interns or something like that, right? So I wouldn't advise anybody to do it on their own. You follow me?
Okay.
I tried to cut my own hair when I was young. It didn't turn out too well, right?
Okay.
So I do not advise anybody to do it on their own because there's some pitfalls that you don't understand.
Okay.
But let's say that you don't have no other choice for financial reasons, then yes, you can go in and you could do it on your own. My preference is this here, for you to go in and buy one that's already ready or have it built for you and then watch what they've done. And then the next time you could do it on your own. You with me?
I see. I understand. Thank you.
All right. You need to think of the same thing. I can drop off a bunch of car parts to your house and tell you build a car, or you can go to the dealership and get the car. It's up to you. Mm-hmm.
Are nonprofits off the table?
Go ahead.
No,
Ma'am.
they're not. Are nonprofits?
So, no,
Go
ma'am.
ahead.
So this is my thing with nonprofits. I had a talk with a young. No, ma'am. So what happens is when I'm a person that loans money. When I hear nonprofit, I'd have more questions for you. Like I need to know. I need to see your last couple of 3 years worth of revenue broken down by quarter to quarter to see if that revenue is going to be enough to cover the debt that you're going to incur with me. Because by just saying the name nonprofit, right, that shows you're not a for-profit, and so I have to see that you've at least made money coming in to be able to cover this note. So they will loan to nonprofits that show that they have revenue coming on a steady stream over the last few quarters, not just 1 year. They need to see that it's been consistent and hopefully that it's growing and not declining. So it is not off the table, but this is my preference to you, right? For you to go ahead and get a shelf corporation, partner with the nonprofit and have the best of both worlds.
Okay, so what if I got it?
Because I know without a doubt, get you funding with the shelf corporation. With the nonprofit, they're going to see financials because You know, I had a nonprofit years ago, 501(c)(3) helping inner city kids to get their CDL. I had to beg for money every goddamn quarter. Every quarter I had to beg for money. I got tired of it. So I just opened up CDL schools for profit. And government gave me money after that. But to your point, they more scrutiny on a nonprofit because they have to see the profit is coming in.
Correct.
Got me?
So what, quick question. So I'm kind of like an overachiever here.
Hey,
and I'm
this is
putting
RJ.
myself-
Can you hear me?
Hold on, RJ.
Uh-oh.
No,
Hold
RJ,
on.
somebody's talking right now.
So
Somebody's talking.
during
Go
COVID,
ahead.
instead of just sitting around doing nothing, I created a sole prop in 2020, a LLC in 2021, and this nonprofit in 2022. My question would be, is there a way to utilize all three of them in these scenarios that you're speaking of?
Okay, so short answer is yes, because you have something. I would have you to upgrade the sole prop to a multi-member because a sole prop is nothing more than you. So they're looking at your credit and everything else. If something happens to you, the whole corporation goes away. So most people like to give to multi-member corporations as opposed to sole prop. I'm not saying you're not going to get any money, but you're going to get higher levels of funding when you're a multi-member corporation. So you would have to upgrade that. So the short answer, you can use it. Yes, you can build it. But just the same question the last young lady had, can I build what I have? And yes, we have a division that help build what you have. It's not as expensive as you buying a shell corporation, but it's still going to cost money.
Okay.
So,
Take money to
Herman,
make money.
Who said that? I love that because it takes other people money. It takes other people money. Just add that part. All right.
That's what I'm trying to do. Other people money. Put with my little.
So Herman, this is RJ again. I'm glad you guys are still on. I kind of had to take care of some business, but full transparency.
RJ, don't rub it in our. Don't rub it in.
Man, look, we working, man. We got to be intentional. So we multitasking. That young lady is a Marine Corps veteran, and she, Herman, and I'm the Navy veteran, but we are looking to do some things. Herman has been involved with logistics.
Yes or no? You got Army on the call too.
So what I wanted to say,
all the veterans, y'all put it in the chat. Y'all represent.
Yes, put the veterans in there because we don't leave anybody behind. If the Marines and the Navy, we carry the Marines, and it is what it is. So
Air Force is really what carried y'all. So let's talk right. Air Force carried Army and Marines.
He had to go mess it up, man. He had to go mess it up.
Somebody had
to
carry us to the fight, and I'm okay with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is, again, this is one of the reasons why I was able to put this Zoom call together. Was it my idea? Even though I'm a brand ambassador, I came in here to be able to help our community. Linda Sam, those in the chat. She's a Marine. She is looking to do some things, and one of the things, like I said, closed mouth doesn't get fed. But to the point of the room, Herman has logistics. When you read or go back and listen to how he got started, that was what's amazing to me, is that he started with logistics and training. What I want to make sure everybody understands, what we didn't have before is the playbook, and then what we didn't have was access and opportunity. So now we've got all three. We've got the playbook. When people say, who are we? We're not people that just talk that game, because we talk about it, and that's what I found out. I trust but verify. We have to be intentional. And when we talk about pay to play, return on investment, create your infrastructure, optimize your credit, that was the word I didn't understand. I thought, hey, if I pay myself on time, get rid of some inquiries. But now with knowledge, we understand what optimization really means, but not just what it means, but how you go to that next level when you're looking to get that consistent money. And I messed around with luck, paying my stuff as agreed, aging. That's why I asked him earlier, what aging mean? I paid it consistently. And after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and 2 years is that sweet spot, because they do want to know your tax returns for the last 2 years. They look at that, they verify you're doing stuff on time, that you're making money, or you at least are still in business.
RJ.
After that takes off. Yes, sir.
RJ. So you're absolutely right, but I need to split you up real quick, right? So when you're going after business credit cards, you don't need financials. So the guy who got the 95,000 American Express, there was no financials needed with that, right? So what happens is in business funding, when I first got my business credit card, I was a brand new business. I was 2 weeks old. I had no financials. I didn't have no employees. Shit, I just had a lease office that I had, and I looked like a business. So when you're going after business credit cards, it behooves you to look like a business, but you don't need any financials for those. Got me?
And let me, you're absolutely right, because
Mhm.
when I got my American Express, all it was is what I looked like. I never submitted anything. All I got was an American Express card, and then all of a sudden I go back to another level after, what was it, a period of time. And I'm telling you guys, it's faster when it happens faster than you can imagine. They don't say no. And I didn't understand until now in these classes. It was because I had a relationship built up. My Navy Federal Credit Union, then Navy Federal, gave me a business loan. And I'm like, why did they? Because now it wasn't just that I had a lot of money, because I'll tell you what, I didn't have no money. I mean, I've seen people that don't have money to this day. It's based on your movement of credit. I did have cash flow, but money in the bank, man, they didn't care. I think they just said, this brother been paying, he's been receiving 100,000, or he's been receiving what he's been doing. He's paid as agreed. And to Herman's point, now I understand it. They're in business to give money. So they gave me a platinum. I gave them $500 a year.
That's how they keep the lights on.
All right, back to you, Herman, man. Yep.
Beautiful.
Well, Herman, if they're not signed up, if people ain't signed up, I don't know about them, but I got my appointment, so I'm gonna jump off to my call time.
Yeah, I seen it. It just crossed my my thing that you have an appointment with my team. So that's
Don't y'all let that girl skip no steps now. Linda Sam, we family, but we still going through RJ Cooper Enterprises and through that ambassador.
This is
I
for
want to
the
make sure.
This isn't for the other thing. Mm-hmm.
Oh, take me with. She's taking me with her. She's bringing me with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
So everybody, my team, somebody asked where's the link at? In there it says Dr. Shelf Corp / something. That's the link for you to be able to get a consultation with my team to learn more about Shelf Corporations, to see if they're really for you or not, if you're ready to move forward. Okay.
I think that should have been a prerequisite, Dr. Herman. You should have said that up front. Listen, if you're serious, fill out the form and then we'll talk. Because otherwise, you'll know who's serious once you fill out that form.
I'm gonna be like transparent with you. My team ain't gonna let you talk to me if you're not. So I'm not even worried about it. I got a bunch of team members on here right now. They've been with me over 2 years and something. They know. So a lot of people, like I said, they want to talk to me, but I only want to talk to people that's doing things. No offense, because it ain't everybody's time. It's not everybody's time. Right. So, but if it is your time and we hook up, I'm gonna elevate you. That's what I do. All right.
And I need a birthday gift too, because I'll be 62 on Monday. So I'm looking for a birthday gift out of this.
Look like you already had. You look like you already had. Like listen, somebody didn't kiss you because you don't look like 60 nothing. So you already had your blessing. Don't get in the way of mine.
That's the Marine.
Thank you.
And I want to say this again, because everybody that came through here, it has to have been through an invite. I hope Henry is in here. Henry is another veteran. I don't know if he got to speak. He is literally looking to do that as well. But we have the replays, or we have the recorded message. Everyone that's here came as an invite, and everyone that's here, I'm going to say, came here for business and not just to waste our time, because we are intentional. I want to be able to say that. I want to thank you for coming. And I can tell there's interest, because I didn't think we were going to go past an hour. And again, you guys get this man excited. He don't stop answering questions. And I think you guys know now.
Listen, I'm trying to give y'all a hint. Y'all don't get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
Cooper.
I'm
on. So thanks for inviting me. It's been very informative. I'm on. Henry.
I appreciate it. Henry, I appreciate it. And those, again, this is some things that we are intentional. And what I wanted to say again, I can't stress this. This man, I trust but verify. Everything he has put out is verifiable. I'm not making any money. And I said it, when I first started 2 years ago, access and opportunity. Now, we don't take advantage of it at this point. Everybody in this room, we know who you are because recording. You can't say you didn't know. It's just a matter of you were willing to take the next leap of faith, take that step. I appreciate you all. I'm going to go ahead and Herman, do you want to go a little bit longer?
Mr. Herman, I just got one more question. To touch bases with you, shall I just email you?
Did Mr. Cooper tell y'all that, listen, no, ma'am. What he was telling you is that I'll stay all day for questions. When y'all stop questions, I'm gone.
No,
I'm going to give me something.
Yeah, I'm talking about the venture for the 2.2 million.
Did you sign up for the Dr. Shelf Corp? Because you sign up there, they're going to book you an apartment with me.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have one question.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we pay in Bitcoin?
Yep.
I love her.
I'm
Them
big
damn,
boy
them,
rich,
damn,
so
them damn Marines, they'll do it to you every time.
Oh yeah.
And Herbert, she's fast. She is literally, you know, David Drain, right? David
Yep.
Drain, we're all out in Lavert Park. We're all in that same neighborhood. We're gonna have you coming down again, man. But this is my veteran that we are rocking with on so many levels, and I'm glad she came to everyone. Henry's the other one in the Carolina, Vanda, everybody here. Herman, I knew, and I was surprised. We thought 6 to 20. I think we got up to 29 people in this room. Everybody here came for business. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to tell you, I appreciate you as well. This is a lot of information that we need to talk about as a group. So we will be getting back with you.
and
That's fine.
Vanda, I'm coming to Houston next weekend to the Power Networking Conference with Dr. George Frazier. So I'd like to connect with you guys while I'm there.
Absolutely. I'll put my phone number in the chat.
Okay.
All right, team. So if there are no more questions, we're gonna close out. But I think the lady in red had a question. Did I answer the question?
Is Ron's phone number in the chat?
Yes, I am RJ Cooper Enterprises. We'll talk about digital business card, and then my phone number is 336. But that digital business card, RJ Cooper Enterprises 10,000K, you'll see it has the phone number, the email. But for old school people, the phone number 336-404-8009, or get with the person that invited you. They all have my contact information. We're gonna rise to the top. I want you guys to understand nobody gets left behind unless you just don't want to play. And we're having fun in the process.
That's true. Personal credit, business credit, people that, like I said, want to move forward with the Shelf Corporation for exponential funding. Dr. Shelf Corp, they put it in the link. I put in there as well. Set on an appointment. My team will get with you and then we can move forward, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Y'all go ahead and y'all do your thing. Before I go, and no other questions. Well, speak now, forever hold your peace. Beautiful. All right, then. I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank y'all very much.
All
Don't
right.
forget to send the recording to my
Come back again. Come back again.
Oh, we're gonna do this again. All I need is folks that are
We're gonna have
interested.
examples of people that are doing good. So then when we come back again, we're gonna have some testimonies, okay? From y'all.
All right.
I got one more question. I know you're on what is that? The video, the audio program.
Clubhouse. Mm-hmm.
Clubhouse. Yeah, I had a brain fart right there. Is there a certain time you get on there, or is it just random?
With you, really, I start missing it and then I go. I used to go every time about between 10 and 11, but boy, I got 3 projects I have to finish. But my board is making me come back between that time, at least 11 to 1 every day, including Sundays. I don't like my board. Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all watch out for him on
catch your
Clubhouse. Yeah, watch out for him on Clubhouse because he thinks he knows how to sing when he's getting started open up these rooms now.
Baby,
So
baby. They heard it when I first come up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all later. Right. Looking forward to talking to some of you all to get y'all shelf corps in place. Everybody else, y'all stand by. I'll be back with some testimonies from y'all group. Talk to y'all later.
All right, Denzel, smile.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right.
Y'all get off this thing.
Haters.
Y'all go ahead and leave quietly. Y'all leave quietly before we get in trouble now. It got work to do. You guys have a great day now. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Ron. Thanks, guys. Vanda, you still there?